Original Demon has dropped on global and by extension level 100. Now there are two main comps that we need to run for Hell. The first one is going to be a Diane comp, and the second one will be an Arthur comp. Now we have 3 turns that we can stall on phase 1, so we will start by taunting, and then dropping sort of all of our extra fodder attacks that don't really help us too much. We get 3 turns to stall for a rank 2 rank up is what we're looking for. Now we did get it already, but I don't think it's worth using on the first or second turn, especially since you have the opportunity to stall for better cards. You know, it is definitely worth to take that. We're looking for things such as additional melee single targets, maybe a way to get ult for phase 2, which we will talk about in a second. Sort of whatever it takes to stall out. You can move cards as well. But I wouldn't use Meli's attacks until you're ready to finish, and then I would still hold on to Diane's attacks, as those are also essential for phase 2. Now we do want to make sure that our taunt stays up. We did get a second taunt. We don't really need to use it yet, but it's kind of the only thing we have, so we will drop that. His single target attack is a block skill effect, so we can't afford anyone else to get hit by that aside from Diane. Now if you don't have Diane, I believe a good alternative is going to be Matrona. Since she does have the taunt, I don't think he buff cancels. And then Matrona does have her own buff cancel. He does have, I believe, an HP buff and maybe a defense buff accompanied with it. I'm not 100% sure on that. But her buff strip is going to be relevant. She just isn't going to be dealing the damage that Diane is doing. Now, Trader Melee is going to be the main source of DPS, so obviously both teams are going to run that. And then both teams, again, are going to run the Gother so that we can get a full rank up across the board. The only difference is that the Diane comp will have Arthur for his buff, as that will drop 4 buffs for our Amplify attacks. So it is very good here. We are on turn 3 of phase 1, so we are going to double rank up, followed by Arthur buff. Looks like he was able to merge into a gold, so that is nice. And then as long as you've been chipping away the first 2 turns, he's at about 60% HP. Probably around 60 to 72 melee single targets with all of these buffs. Should be enough to finish him off. Phase 1 is also the only time that we can crit. So definitely with crits, he should die relatively easily. Now we are moving on to phase 2. Phase 2, he starts with an immunity buff, and he can only be hit by a ranged attack. Now in this case, it is going to be our Diane attack. This is the only ranged ability we have here. So he threw out a rank up. We will double Diane attack, and this will remove the gray buff, and then we can use basic melee attacks. Now when he gets down to about 10-15% HP, he gets another gray buff, but he's only able to be harmed by ultimates. So we do have an ult at the end of our skill lineup here to finish him off, but it looks like his Arthur got him just above the threshold, and his melee was able to finish him off. So we don't actually have to worry about it here, but that's not always the case, so you do want to make sure that you finish phase 2 with an ultimate. Now on phase 3, there isn't really anything we need to focus on in terms of special passives or quirks, so we can sort of just go all out with these melee single target attacks, go with their rank ups, especially the gold ones that do drop additional stats, but I think those aren't really going to overlap with the Arthur buff, so doesn't really do too much here. 2 gold single targets from melee followed by an ultimate. Looks like it is enough to finish him off. If you aren't able to finish him off in 1 turn here, that's fine. I believe he won't really kill you on the 6th turn. The 7th turn might be a little difficult since I think he does buff. But that is the original demon in 5 turns. If you guys liked it, drop a thumbie, maybe a sub if you're into that. See you in the next one.